Well, welcome to our exposition here on how to do data analysis with R. And we're very fortunate in terms of data analysis because one, it's becoming a more and more popular and needed skill in the world. In fact, there's a huge shortage of people who can do competent data analysis in the world right now. It's a great job opportunity. And we're also fortunate because we can do data analysis on our own computers for free. We can download the R software, which is completely free, completely open source, and available to everybody in the world who has an internet connection. And we can do very powerful analyses. The downside is, there always has to be a downside, right? The downside is R is very geeky and incredibly geeky, and it's difficult to use unless you love programming. And most people who do data analysis don't want to become programmers. They want to do data analysis. So what I've done is I've written a set of functions as an extension of R, and the R system allows these extensions. In fact, it was written for these extensions to be able to easily be added into the system. My extensions are called lessR. It forms what the R system calls a package, the lessR package. And when you download my functions into the R system on your computer, you will get much more simpler access to R, but still within the standard R environment, working with the actual R functions. And they just add to the R functions that are already there. So it's not mutually exclusive. You can do anything you want with standard R functions. And with my functions, you can simplify at least the basic analyses. Once you go beyond the basic analyses, you have to go back to the R system functions themselves. But I provide you at least the basic stuff we'll go over here. So the first thing you need to do is get R. And to get R, we go to r-project.org. And so let's just go there for the moment. And there we are, the R project for statistical computing. To download R, please choose your preferred CRAN mirror. And I click there. And what we have here is a list of servers around the world. They're all around the world, and they all contain the R system. And you just go to a server, presumably one close to you, and download the R system. I prefer I've been using, at least for a long time, the system at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. So I click here, but you can choose any one, presumably. And when I click there, then we end up at the prompts to download R for Mac or Windows. There you go. Click right there. We're currently at 3.23 package. And if you want to download for Windows, click under Base. So it's that simple. You just go and download. You have the standard installer with your operating system and install it like you would any software, and then run it like you would with any software. You can put the icon on your dock. You can put it on your desktop. You can go into the system and run it directly from where it's stored on the system. It's up to you, however you run your apps on your particular computer. So once you have R, then, as I indicated, just go ahead and start it as you would in any application. I just clicked on the R symbol on my dock. And here we have R version 3.23. And the first thing I need to do now, first note that we're in what's called the command line environment. So we're going to type in functions. This is what makes R so incredibly geeky if you just start from the beginning, because the people who wrote R apparently loved to program and write lines and lines and lines of code, which is what you typically have to do to use the R system. But using my functions, it would be much more straightforward. But first, you have to get my functions downloaded also. So you've downloaded the R package, and now we're going to download my functions. And to do that, the first thing you're going to do in R, and I've got here a series of different function calls that we're going to go through as I explain the system. And if you're interested, these function calls here are on the web at my website, lessrstats.com. And just go there in lessR.R, and you will get the same exact file here that I'm running these functions from. But we need to first install the packages here. And so the command install packages, quote, lessR, quote, will go to the R servers and pull down the lessR functions and put them on your local computer. So that's all you need to do then to get the functions on your computer. And once they're there, then when we start the system up, then we'll just basically call up the functions for use every time that we start an R application up. So let me close this down. I didn't actually install it because I already have them installed. But when you install, you'll see a bunch of packages come down. The lessR package will come down, and a few others will come down also that I use in my system. And once it's installed, then when you're running R, you'll get the blank R screen again with the command prompt, and then go ahead and type in library lessR. And this is always what you're going to enter first, library lessR. And here we have then lessR version 3.41. And this will tell us then how to go and get started. And we can see to get started here, enter capital H, ELP, like parenthesis. And the help there function is a way for you to get going so that presumably you wouldn't even need any extra instruction beyond this point, particularly if you understood the structure of a data file that we'll talk about next. But here's the help function. And when I call that up, then I get a bunch of entries for help. So if I want to learn about how to read data in, help read, help bar chart, help histogram, and so forth. And I can type any one of those in and get more information. So when you're stuck on something, just type in help and or the specific help topic you want, like help read. And I'm going to close this down here and type in help read here. And there is the specifics about how to read in a data file. My data, arrowhead, hyphen, read, parenthesis gets you started reading the data file on your particular computer. So anyhow, that's the orientation, the beginning here. We download R, we run R, and within R we install the packages lessR, and then we go ahead and start with the help system if we'd like some help. So that's your basic introduction to R. And next we'll talk about actually reading data in so we can actually then start doing data analysis.